Gaming Series cast. Tonight we have Logical Decision versus Who Knows Gaming, and tonight I'm joined by my very good friends through the internet, 7th Ace. Go ahead and introduce yourself to anyone that somehow knows me and not you.
And especially not knowing me after you just introduced me. I'm 7th Ace. I've been a caster and player in NGS since Season 1, and I'm on a team with Hector, and it's going fantastic. Good to be here.
Has gone quite well.
Can't argue too much.
So this is a B West Division game. This is the number 4 seed versus the number 5 seed, so not a whole lot we can say going into it about what team should have the obvious advantage, because they're only finished 2 points apart from each other during the regular season. Though I will say, I have to give it already to Who Knows Gaming for 4 out of 5 portrait synergy, and they're missing a 5th, so...
Yeah, unfortunately the 5th is going to make it pretty hard for them to win Cotton, so we'll have to see if they can pull somebody together to get it to work. Maybe a rando off the streets.
Playing 4v5 is in fact a bold strategy. Such as it is, though, I can point out that Logical Decision did take the 2-0 during the regular season, so they do have the advantage in history there, but that was a relatively early match, and from what it sounds like, Logical Decision's been a little hit or miss since then, and Who Knows Gaming have been creeping up in the power rankings.
Yeah, that match looks like it was round 9. Oh, that was their flex match. So it was between weeks 3 and 4. So yeah, that was fairly early on, with Logical Decision taking that 2-0 on Braxis and Infernal Shrines, it looks like.
Well, we're not going to be seeing Infernal Shrines this series. You can already see we have the map picks and bans up. We do not do coin flips here in playoffs. Logical Decision, as the higher seed, had the choice of first hero pick or first map pick. They chose for hero. Who Knows Gaming banned Tomb of the Spider Queen. Logical Decision banning out Cursed Hollow. Who Knows banned out Infernal Shrines. Logical banning out BOE. And Who Knows Gaming chose Sky Temple. Not a terribly surprising pickup by them, considering it's one of their most played maps. After Infernal Shrines, they've played it 5 times according to Stats of the Storm. It's about a week out of date, and I didn't have time to check Hero's profile, but they've played that map a lot compared to basically any other team.
Yeah, and they just played it, I believe, a 6th time against Reborn Knights Red recently. Yes, they did, and they've won 5 of the 6. So we'll have to see. Just taking a look at some of the compositions, they all mirror each other fairly closely. Global presence, ETCs and Jimmies littered throughout, even with some Brightwing pickups, which I'm never going to argue.
Yeah, they really like Dahaka on that map, having picked him 4 out of the 5 times that I have data for. ETC, Kelthu freaking Zod, and who's the other one I got on there? Tyrael being their other most common picks up on that map. And I'm really interested to see if they continue to go with the KTZ, considering the very recent rework that he had. How do you feel about the rework?
Mainly just a heroic rework, but it seems good if you're good. And although that may seem obvious, there is a new combo that allows you to hit with R not even twice, but up to 3 times in a single combo. Obviously, difficult to hit though, so if they've got the skill cap to bring it out, Kel'Thuzad could be a really wild pickup, and could maybe bring it back for Who Knows Gaming.
Yeah, I like the new R combos that there are. It's a little less damage if you don't get the optimal combo, but a lot more damage if you do.
Yep, higher skill cap enabled on that combo, which I think is a good thing overall. Kel'Thuzad kinda was one-tricked into his role of you play and you hit your combo and your opponent plays against it or not, and that's kind of just how it goes. So there's a little bit more gradients of success, and I think that's pretty good. Mephisto ban, first one out here.
Also, not terribly surprising, a relatively highly played hero, especially on this map. At least for Who Knows Gaming. I can't speak to the meta at large.
Yeah, because I have not seen much Mephisto around, but maybe there is a Mephisto here for Who Knows Gaming. Who knows, though? Have to get that pun out of the way before we actually get into this.
I think the proper tongue twister there is Mephisto aficionado. The world's most standard first pick Johanna coming out. Johanna by far and away the most played hero in NGS with over 100 games over the next closest hero.
Wow, that's actually insane. I thought you were gonna say just over 100 games. It's 100 games more. Good lord. 400
and something over ETC's 300 with lesser tens places than she has.
Dahaka and Jimmy, seen both of those in previous drafts on Sky Temple by Who Knows Gaming, so they seem to be getting what they want right now.
Yeah, and when I first saw that they were going into Sky Temple, I thought, oh, Abathur, obviously, Mule's an incredible talent, but they've actually never played him. At least not on this map. So, having not actually watched any of their matches before, I'm really interested to see how they managed to make this map work so successfully for them.
Jaina and Anduin picked up on the side of Logical Decision, and I totally agree with you. They've got a relatively consistent idea through all their drafts, and they've clearly executed winning all of their most recent 5, and only losing 1 at the very start of the season. So it'll be interesting. Leo Band coming out from Who Knows Gaming. See if we get a Brightwing or an ETC ban out here from... Well, ETC's already banned, so maybe a Brightwing or a Tyrael here for Logical Decision.
I really like the team comp that's forming for Logical Decision. I can't think of a more solid 3 core of heroes for just general Heroes of the Storm right now. Johanna brings them in, Anduin holds them in place, Jaina also holds them in place, but also just murders everyone.
Yeah, and Jaina's even a good clone target for an Abathur, should Logical Decision choose to do that. So, yeah, I think they've set themselves up for success.
Honestly, I'd be disappointed if they didn't.
I would too. Good Kel'Thuzad ban, by the way. We were talking about him ahead of time, and the Kel'Thuzad is now squeezed, so they're going to have to flex and see what they're going to pick up as their last damage. They do pick up both the aforementioned picks with Tyrael and Brightwing, leaving only their mage-style DPS left to go.
And they've already had their 2 primary picks banned out, and Jaina picked away from them, so there's not a lot of significant area wave clear remaining. There's still a couple of really great ones, like, I don't know, Kael'thas, that perma-banding gold hero. 7th Ace is really loud compared to everything else. I don't have the means to fix that, but he does. And DB Smiley, thank you so much with the 14-person raid.
You can turn me down on Discord real quick.
That would be a way better idea. So the screen's going to freeze for a second while I reopen Discord. Pop in there. Someone's lighting a fire right next to me, so I'm going to have to close
Hopefully
my window
that's not your dog.
Alright, we load you down by about 30%. And we've got the Lunara pick coming out, along with Rexxar. I like both of those heroes quite a bit, especially Rexxar on this map, where winning the solo lane isn't as important as it is on, D-Shire, but it's still pretty important because it controls access to a temple, and Orphan is a little less wave clear, but a little more team fight. So I think that's... I don't know.
Seems We'll see. I think, and they've got functional wave clear. It's nothing to write home about. But it exists. They have played Orphea 1 time this season. Did result in a win. Not going to take too much into that, but we do have some experience. There is a little bit of precedence. So, I'm minus the mage pick. Who Knows Gaming got what they want. What they wanted overall. Again, their map choice, and a very successful map for them so far this season. So, even though I like the composition of Logical Decision a little bit more, I have to give the advantage over to Who Knows Gaming.
Yeah, you've always got to be worried when a team has a specific map strategy that they've executed in the past, and you just kind of mostly let them have it.
Yeah, I think that's especially, even middle of the pack, where we are in B, that's teams fluctuate very heavily based on maps, and I think it's Really important factor.
And spawning in on the left-hand side, we have Logical Decisions, your number 4 seed, with Wono playing Anduin, Snowglare appropriately playing Jaina, E-Day15 playing Johanna, Ulysses playing Rexar, and Ziltoid playing Lunara.
And on the right side, the number 5 seed, it is Who Knows Gaming. We have Eminem Hitman playing the Jimmy, Lupus on the Dahaka, Wolf playing Tyrael, Shinkagen on Orphea, and Dr. Ziegler on the Brightwing.
Big shout out to people that name themselves after healers and then play healers.
Yeah, shout out to Mercy. Well done, I like the name. I liked it.
So with this map, we have the obligatory level 1 fight over the vision point. I think it should mostly go in favor of Logical Decision because they do have the Misha that they can put on there.
It's that Braxis holdout effect right there, or the Dragonshire effect as well. It's that will give them the vision advantage to start, but we'll see that solo laner fight go down top lane as the teams continue to rotate through, or begin their rotations through mid and bottom.
Checking out the level 1 talents, we do have the bold strategy coming out from Anduin. Laws of Hope, I see it a lot. I'm almost never a fan, just because that extra D-Shield cooldown can be so powerful. Actually, Sentinel Wisp coming out from Lunara, I don't see that very often at all. Globes coming out from Jaina, and we've got better bird throwing from Rexar.
Yeah, I like the Wisps are actually pretty good on this map. There's a lot of bushes in between the 2 lanes, and you can see it almost splits the entire vision area, so I think it's a nice map niche pickup from Lunar. Both teams now headed towards the siege camps.
Yeah, Who Knows Gaming is going to pick that up just slightly in advance. They had Brightwing in the lane to soak the whole time. A little bit extra damage coming out of the Snowglare. There goes the Chomp, and actually the auto attack coming out from Orphan is going to get the kill.
Yeah, just a little bit of mispositioning, trying to either aggress onto the wave or apply a little pressure, and Orphea came out with a lot of damage, 76% of it according to the recap, and really caught Jane off guard. We'll have to see if Logical Decision can fix up some of those errors.
A little bit of light pressure gets applied onto Wono there, just forces him back enough so that he has to tap, but that's a tap that they're not going to have during the objective phase.
Yep, that did happen after that critical 1-minute mark.
If I had to point out 2 things that I'm just not a super big fan of, Ace in the Hole.
Hey.
Especially this map tends to... You can get a lot of value in getting stacks, as opposed to the consistent all-around damage. And also, where'd Wono go? Wono is not running with scissors right now.
Oh, that's basically reportable. I mean, come on, throw the W at the wall, and then Hearth for your mana, and you're running with scissors for the rest of the game. Most important part of the game.
Thank you, people in chat, for putting out who is the number 4 seed versus number 5 seed. Lupus taking a little bit of damage. I don't know if he has essence that he can put himself back up with, but he hasn't dug for a while. He might just want to Hearth and then dig back in afterwards. And both teams are actually really delaying getting onto the first objective. It's just finished spawning now, but no one's actually taking a commanding spot on it, but good on both teams for making sure they get their bruiser camps. Very well timed on both teams.
Yep, definitely. And so this is going to be an important part. How does Who Knows Gaming play through this? Are they going to try and take a fast 1-1 trade where Logical Decision grabs top and they grab mid, which seems to be the case, or will they kind of slow play this and drag it out with their globals? But either way, not a lot of scuffling going to be happening between the 2 teams here.
You wouldn't expect so, but I actually really like in the bottom lane. We've had Brightwing the entire time. Wolf is going to get chunked kind of hard. Orphan gets pretty low as well, but they're still just kind of trading out 1 for 1, and Brightwing's been split soaking this whole time. And that gives them just a very small level advantage.
Yeah, I like it. Here comes Brightwing coming to aggress in the top lane, maybe to save somebody. The top temple is basically done, so they are going to have to rely on just getting picks. Snowglare's in a really rough spot on the other side of the Johanna, is going to get taken out by the group kill, and another pickup on the Jaina by the side of Who Knows Gaming.
I think that was honestly just a misclick. Jaina, or rather Johanna, had the D-Shield and didn't need to be life gripped out of there. Unfortunately, Jaina was left behind for it.
Yeah, because of the perspective, wasn't Johanna in front of the Jaina possibly, like making a screen body block almost?
Yes, there's been a couple of forum complaints about exactly that happening, though. Like, try targeting an allied Chromie behind an allied Diablo. You're being for a rough time.
Use those insert and delete keys to rotate if you haven't bound them. That's totally the strat.
That is high-level StarCraft observing, folks.
It exists in this game too. You just have to manually bind the keys.
Ah, I see.
Kind of ridiculous. Siege camps picked up again on both sides on cooldown. Good macro coming out from both sides, as you would expect.
Very small scuffle happening on the left-hand side by this boss. A little bit less of a small engagement happening now as Wolf's going in. And Jaina actually gets taken out by Sheik again. Trying to get the counter kill out onto Jimmy, but he's able to pop that E and walk away.
Ooh. Yeah, Jaina caught out 3 times, 100% of the deaths. Gonna have to watch that positioning throughout. Orpheus being able to close the gap with her Q a lot, and it's resulting in a lot of kills for the side of Who Knows Gaming, and they're going to be able to take the level 10s right as this temple spawns, so it's going to be a tough contest, at least to start, for Logical Decision.
I apologize in advance for all of the different times we're going to mispronounce Shinkaigen.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and agree with that.
As we got the level 10s coming in, let's pull up the talent selection again. We do have the Crushing Jaws, we've got Isolation, Blink Heal, Sanctification, and Hyperion. No Raiders here.
What a bummer. It's kind of looking for the judgment. This is kind of this comp can be aggressive. They've got the Swift Retribution to give move and attack speed. They've got a lot of ability to play aggressive, but they do want to go with that Sanctification to help with the Light Bomb combos.
And you can see all the ults that are happening on the other side. A little bit surprised we don't have Ring, but actually a big amount of damage coming into Johanna. Pops the D-shield so that they can continue to walk away. There goes the Jaina ult coming out, trying to get someone slowed down. The Light Bomb, huge, hitting 4 people. Sanctification prevents a significant amount of further damage, and Ziltoid gets brought down very low, isolated, can't see what they're doing at all. Snowglider gets brought down really low, but surprisingly no kills coming out from either side, but a lot lower health bars on the side of Logical Decision. As the huge 2-3 person Misha stun comes in, Brightling's able to get Jimmy out of there, but he's not able to do the same for Dahaka. Misha gets brought down very low, is going to go down, but trading a Dahaka for a Misha is always a good trade.
Yeah, that was actually insane fight. Really good counter-engage from the Ulysses to be able to turn that fight. But big play by Dr. Ziegler on the Brightwing to use the trait, cleanse out the Light Bomb. We'll see now Johanna going in, taking a lot of damage, does get a good condemn, but does not end up resulting in anything except her own death. And that'll more or less even up this trade, and the scuffle over the bottom temple temporarily goes in the favor of Who Knows Gaming.
I've got to say, I'm really impressed, actually, with Ulysses on the Rhaegar. He's had several giant multiple-person stuns coming out with that Misha. And normally you think of Rexar as being good because he just can survive and win in the solo lane, but he's being really effective in these team fights as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. He's been kind of, I mean, obviously has the ability to win the solo lane against somebody who generally wouldn't, but these team fights are working out a little bit better than you'd expect for a Rexar player. Really good here.
Somewhat surprisingly, we had the Water Elemental pop to help in taking that Bruiser camp from the side of Logical Decision, so they're not going to have that for another 30 seconds. It's somewhat unlikely we're going to have a major team fight, although Who Knows Gaming's a little bit hiding in bushes. Up in the top lane, we actually see Rexar getting a lot of value in that, pushing Dahaka all the way back to his fort. With the camp pushing it into it, Orphan's going to rotate up to try and push Ulysses out of here. To my side being popped to try and get him out of there. The Misha stun actually hitting both heroes and protecting against that. But in the bottom lane, we've got the big Light Bomb combo that comes out and takes Raynor down as well. Action all over the map, as that top fort does fall from the side of Who Knows Gaming.
Yeah, Logical Decisions really turn the momentum on its head here with some really solid plays. As we see, Water Elemental gets popped. I don't think they'll be able to chase that, but nonetheless, it is going to secure the bottom fort, and that's 2 forts picked up within about 30 seconds of each other, thanks to the Bruiser camp plus the Rexar push, and then the 4-man push against the 3-man at the bottom, and a really cool Leaping Strike plus Light Bomb combo. to secure the kill on Jimmy.
Yeah, I was skeptical about using Water Elemental for that Bruiser camp, but it let them take the Bruiser camp, which they maybe otherwise couldn't have as quickly as they did. They had the ult up in time to participate in that team fight, and just that extra macro, along with the fact that they have unbeatable solo god Rexar in there to push Dahaka out, meant that they just got a ton of value.
Yeah, that's really working in their favor. We'll see how these temple phases line up. XP still dead even for both teams picking up. Oh man, big engage. Jimmy not where he wanted to be. Tyrael walks out of his own sanctification, gets taken out, and just like that, just as I say it, Logical Decision now a half level ahead due to 2 kills, and they're looking at their boss now.
Yep, Brightwing was able to secure that fort, but that is unlikely to be as much value as this boss is going to net Logical Decision. We do have Dahaka in the top, making sure that they can get at least one of these temples. That is the power they have with their globals. Unfortunately, it's still not as much as a boss and a bottom objective.
Yeah, that's gonna keep Who Knows Gaming on their back foot more or less for a while. Let's see if Logical Decision decides to push with their boss, who they keep back, or what. It looks like Rexar is just covering the point for now, and there's not a lot of defense right here. DPS for Who Knows Gaming is on the Bridget camp. They'll hearth back and be back in time to make a reasonable defense before it gets too far past the wall, but the wall will be down quickly.
I gotta say, I'm genuinely impressed with Who Knows Gaming and their decision. Between Brightwing and that objective, they actually got every fort from the side of Logical Decision. Big light bomb, not quite hitting as many people as they could in this teamfight. Brightwing doesn't go down because Blink Heal is amazing. And there goes the kill out onto Misha with the Crushing Jaws, but the counter kill out onto Dahaka, as we said before, not particularly in Who Knows Gaming's favor. Brightwing just barely able to save Orphan as she gets chunked down very hard by the leaping strikes. Wolf is very low, does not have Sanctification for 5 more seconds, blinks away to try and save himself. He will get away. Jimmy gets put in a really bad place with that Chastise, is not quite able to get out as Ide chases him down, and there goes the Orphan as well, and that is the 3 for a half trade over for the side of Logical Decision. They're now looking to end, and I don't think there's really anything Who Knows Gaming can do about it.
No, absolutely not. The damage has come out, the poison has withered the core, and Game 1 goes quite convincingly in the favor of Logical Decision.
GG and well played.
So after a little bit of a rough start, a little bit of, I don't want to say the F word a little much on stream, but after a little bit of feeding by the Jaina, the play cleaned up by Logical Decision. They turned that around, pulled 7 kills to 1 for the rest of the game, and pretty much took over after those ults came out. The Light Bomb, the Leaping Strike, and all of the control ultimates from that core 3 really worked out in the favor of Logical Decision there. So handing Who Knows Gaming their first loss on Sky Temple in about 6 weeks.
And just looking at the stats, there's not a ton of like huge outliers. Like you don't have a 70,000 damage dealing hero. Actually, it's Rexar dealing the most damage for the side of Logical Decision, but they didn't need to do a ton of damage. They got the damage when it mattered.
Absolutely, and it's not a particularly bulky comp. They, with Brightwing as a healer, Tyrael as a tank, Who Knows Gaming isn't going to be tanking a lot of damage. Fights are going to be quick and done with, as we saw. So, yeah, considering that Who Knows Gaming took the map, had a plan, and then looked pretty shaky after level 10, they've got to really consider what they're going to do, and they've considered to go to Dragonshire or gotten Pick. I'm not actually certain.
Have not yet found out the answer to that.
It looks like they opted for Pick, just judging by the lobby. So this does look like it's for Logical Decision. Yes. Map by Logical Decision.
Map by Logical Decision. Dragonshire. That is right team. Make sure that looks right. It does. Alrighty.
Game didn't even count the Misha death. That is true. It does a floor. So you're allowed up to 3 Misha deaths before it shows your sins on the final screen. So.
Speaking of quarter deaths, do they still show Abathur clones as a quarter death? Is that still a thing?
I don't think so.
All right.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
I like that you can have fractional deaths, but not fractional kills.
You can have fractional kills. If you kill the Misha, it should give fractional kills. I'm like 95% certain it does, but I'll have to see. I don't think we'll see this game. I'm pretty sure we'll see a Rexar ban.
Yeah, I'd be really surprised if there was a Rexar ban from either team.
Was it? Logical. We have scrimmed against Logical Decision on this map, and they bullied us. They did a good job playing this map. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they have in store, even if they don't get a Rexar.
We have confirmation from Monkus that Abathur clones do not count as deaths, but they do count as portion of XP if you kill it before it runs out. It used to count as a quarter of a hero kill, but those are bygone times. So I would expect to see the Rexar ban coming out from the side of Logical Decision. Dragonshire is a relatively highly played map from both teams, actually, I think. Yeah, 4 from Logical Decision and 3 from Who Knows Gaming. So both teams relatively comfortable. MJ Doom, we should not have 5 map bans. We should have 4 map bans and a win.
Yeah, the overlay's a little bit funky. It started with 5 map bans. I'll fix it at some point. Real quick, there is no Rexar ban. Looking up through the Who Knows Gaming list, they have played Rexar a bunch of times. So that's going to force Logical Decision. Do they part ways with their Rexar? Or no? Will they ban him out? They don't. Alright, here comes the first pick Rexar.
MJ Doom, if you have any other complaints with the casting overlay, I just so happen to have the co-caster as the person that created the overlay, so...
I'm disconnecting now, thank you kindly.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this abruptly became a solo cast. And there's the terribly unsurprising Rexar pickup coming out from Lupus as they cycle through a whole bunch of skins.
Yep. And they've picked it the last 3 times. Here's Sylv picked up for Logical Decision. Don't know too much if they've played Sylv a whole lot on this map. Just flying through their map history, they haven't played a lot of Sylv. And the standard Johanna pickup.
They have played a ton of Johanna.
Yeah, they have. My goodness.
Coming out from
so
this is one of Kelthu freaking Zod's best maps. And we didn't get to see it in the previous series. I'd like to see it here. But it's possible...
I think we're going to get Falstad.
It is possible that they just aren't going to pick him up because they haven't had enough practice with the new ult.
Yes.
But I'm wrong. I love
there
it.
We go.
I love it. I want so much more of it. Let's see if Dr. Ziegler knows how to play Anduin before the 0-minute mark.
Always. Most critical. I mean, look, Logical Decision won, but they could have won better if they had scissors. Let's be real here.
It really is. And to be completely honest, if Who Knows Gaming doesn't throw away Tyrael and Jimmy in that objective fight over the bottom lane, they're in still a fine spot. Like, that one blunder, I genuinely think cost him the momentum of the entire rest of the game. So if they just don't do that, they can definitely take game number 2 and bring us to a rubber match.
I tend to agree. They do get, Logical Decision does go for the Jimmy ban. Who Knows Gaming has not picked Jimmy on this map. It has been replaced with a Falstad every single time. 4 out of 4 games this season. Really looks like Who Knows Gaming has a draft per map, and I like it. They've got some variations and everything, depending on opponent bans, obviously, but the feed chicken has been consistent throughout. 100% participation.
I'd like to see Logical Decision actually pick up Junkrat. He's their most played damage dealing hero. But actually, I was going to bring this up. Logical Decision does play Zagara on this map.
A lot.
As they played her in the scrim against us, and it was not something we dealt with. At all.
Ever.
It dealt with us.
Yeah, quite well, actually. Alright, last picks. Timer ticking down. I'm expecting Falstad. There's Falstad. And, what else? Dibbles, main tank. Yep, taking it before.
Speculation question. Zagara versus Rexar in the Soul Lane. Who wins?
Huh. I almost want to say... I think it's one of those things where Zagara wins lane and Rexar wins point. I believe that's how that works, but if not, Zagara could stack her auto-attack quest on Misha for a significant duration if Lupus isn't really careful. And so it could lead to Zagara winning later. There's the Pandemonium pickup for Logical Decision. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, they do have the potential to put either Zagara or Chen up in the top, although I tend to favor Zagara.
Yeah, I can't imagine a world in which Chen would beat Rexar in point or in the lane. On point or in lane. I know how to words, people.
Yeah, don't worry. Words are quite difficult. I was telling a story earlier, and I think it just fell on its face because I said the sentence wrong 4 times, so we will attempt to do things right here. Chad is quite confused at the 4-man Zerg, or 4-man Zagara, or solo Zagara. You seem more confused than I've ever seen chat confused, and I've seen a lot of confusion from that kind of variant spray.
Seems general consensus is that Zagara is going to be in the bot lane, and push the heck are they going to push in that wall. That was some of my best Englishing ever. Spawning in the left-hand side, we have Logical Decision with Wono playing the Rexar, Snowglare playing Zagara, my bay, E-Day15 playing Johanna once again, Ulysses playing Fat Illidan, and Ziltoid playing Sylvanas.
On the right-hand side, needing to win this game and the next one to hold on for their NGS Season 7 life, it's Who Knows Gaming, Eminem Hitman on Falstad, Wolf on Diablo, Dr. Ziegler moving to the Anduin, Lupus on Rexar, and Shinkagen, that is correct, on Kel'Thuzad, freaking Zod, and AFK.
So once again, our Anduin player does not know how to play Anduin before the 0-minute mark. It's unfortunate, but these higher tier teams, man, they're just missing out on certain parts of the meta.
Yeah, that's an important part, whether it's a part of the BM meta or intimidation or whatever, but the important part of the meta here is the Zagara Sylvanas push in the bottom lane that's gotten about 3/4 of a tower here.
I was genuinely expecting there to be a little bit more damage, actually. Ektar changed scenes. Thank you very much. Hopefully that did it just now.
We can verify in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, or so. We do have now the rotations coming in from the side of Logical Decision. They are just kind of sticking Zagara in the soul lane, so they're not really rotating mid-bot like you often see on this map, but you do have them taking a much earlier camp than Who Knows Gaming.
Yep, I'm watching chat. There, we've switched now. We've done it, guys. It's okay. We have a stream delay. It's legal, I promise. Ulysses, the Chen, has been designated for the top lane. Zagara being designated for the bottom lane. And it looks like they're treating this like a 1-3-1 with 1 to 2 heroes going and picking up all the camps on cooldown, which is a cool way to play this map. I really like that. That's a different way, and Who Knows Gaming might struggle against that.
We do have the Hold Your Ground coming out from this Johanna, which I think against a KTZ is absolutely essential.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that one. Being able to just interrupt the combo immediately is very important. Ziltoid and Wono going ahead, rotating up into the top lane, pushing with the Bruisers a little bit, making sure they gain control of that top point away from the Rexar. And they're going to do a lot of damage up here if Who Knows Gaming doesn't grab their Bruiser camp or disengage from it and then go defend top.
honestly, Logical Decision is just all over the map right now. They have pressure pushing in basically every lane. Bottom lane finally got cleaned up. Wono's gonna disrupt that rotation coming in from Diablo. And Misha gets chunked a little bit hard, but she'll probably be able to walk out. Not quite. There goes the quarter of a first blood going over to the side of Logical Decision.
It was nearly first blood. Diablo lost about 90% of his health before being Leap of Faith out. Ulysses going to have to back off before engagement happens, but look at the soak advantage already for Logical Decision. Half a level before the 3-minute mark. And yeah, it's looking real good so far.
We just pull the talents back up just so we can check on the level 4s, but more importantly, keep track of that Masters of the Cold Dark. Zoltoid comes in for the world's easiest gank. Didn't have to basically do anything besides, cast abilities in a semi-logical decision order. I did not mean to make that joke happen, I'm so sorry.
You'll be forgiven. Counter push in the top lane. Going down on Ulysses, who's going to take some damage, is not going to have a whole lot of ability to wave clear that, because the rest of Logical Decision is taking the Bruiser camp at the bottom, so this could be one of those scenarios where it's a double-sided push, but it looks like Snowglare is going to go back and help defend.
Still having a little bit of push coming in this bottom lane. Siltrait trying to take down the rest of that fort really only gets the bottom tower, and Wolf is positioning a little bit aggressively, but the chains miss from Shinkaigen, and that's a lot of their ability to try and take an engagement at this point. My dogs are trying to fight their way through the door to get into this room. It's not going to happen because they whine, but if you hear thumping or crying coming from my microphone, I swear to God, we don't abuse anything. They just think they need so much more attention than they're getting.
Comms are always fun in the Lurk Patrol Discord when multiple dogs are rowdy.
Yeah, I've always got a co-caster even when I don't have anyone with me.
4-man push in the bottom lane. Wolf does not get the flip over the now non-existent wall onto Ide. Good stacking coming out. Got about 6 stacks in the last 30 seconds. So that is helping out towards that glacial spike and just 2 more CC hits. And it looks like the kind of omni-pressure of Logical Decision is, at least for the moment, while the camps are down and while the walls are down, is going to cease for just a minute. Capture available in the middle, but it looks like Ide's there to at least begin preventing it.
Up in the top lane, Ulysses trying to get a little bit of jump out onto Lupus,
Gank
but
bot.
isn't going to get it, and just barely make it over in time to see Kel'Thuz's freaking Zod go down.
It was just replay the world's easiest gank, and then that's exactly what happened again.
A lot of damage coming out onto Falstad in the mid lane. Ide putting in a surprising amount of pressure considering Feed Chicken's mobility. But Eminem Hitman is just playing really far forward against Johanna, and she's pretty hard to kill, but at the same time, as you said, the omnipresent macro coming out from Logical Decision has got them more than half of a level ahead. They're about to pick up 10s, and they get a fort for basically nothing.
Yeah, just for good macro decisioning is what they get it for, and that's just plain good. Getting things for free is always pretty nice.
I've got to say, Ulysses is losing the top lane a little less hard than I would have thought. There have been a couple of rotations up, and the camps have been a lot better for Logical Decision. Even all that in mind, I still think that Ulysses should be losing a little bit worse than he is.
Yep, this is going to be the big chance for Who Knows Gaming to capture this point. People are out of lane, people are in a weird spot. They just picked up level 10. Eminem Hitman actually going to take a lot of damage, but does dodge the Blessed Shield, so that engage is down, and that's really the only hard engage on the side of Logical Decision. So Who Knows Gaming can play a little bit more aggressively here.
Ooh, we've got a Devouring Maw coming from that Zagara. No Nidus Worms here.
That actually blows me away, but, we'll see it work, or not.
That is a fact. Other than that, pretty standard ults coming out from both sides. Other than, I guess, no Misha steroids, that's not super standard, but it is what we saw in the previous game. But we have the Wailing Arrow, the Panda Pals, the Ancestral Healing. Sorry, there's just a lot going on at the moment. And then pretty much all standard ults coming out from Who Knows Gaming.
Yeah, that's how to get through them real fast while things are going on. 4-man push actually gonna come up here and basically guarantee this top fort with the bruiser camp. Every time the bruiser's been picked up, there's been a aggression in the middle, push the wave out, and then the 3 to 4-man into the top lane, and it's gonna get the fort this time and put it down on the bridge death. Blessed Shield goes out onto Anduin, does not get the root combo with the Panda Pals, but the Wailing Arrow does land anyway. Ziegler drops the Death Rattle Light Bomb and then gets dunked into the pond just off the bridge. Lupus is going to be taking a lot of damage, but he'll make it over the wall just in time. And that is only a kill, but this push is quite powerful and should get the bottom wall, top wall.
That is 1 1/4 kills.
1 1/4 now.
The boar's coming out, but nowhere near enough follow-up to actually try and get that kill. I didn't realize that the boars could just stop chasing people.
I didn't know that either. Huffers never stop chasing, they always go face though, so...
Yeah, they do.
Really, I think that's lore inaccurate.
Yeah, we should probably call Heroes of the Storm and let them know.
There are 3 separate fights going on. E-Day trying to channel, Wono fighting Eminem Hitman, you fighting the entirety of the rest of Who Knows Gaming. He is not going to get taken out. Good peeling from the Johanna, even in the Dragon Knight. Ancestral comes out just in time for him to get comboed by Kel'Thuzad and lose all his health again.
I gotta say, I'm genuinely impressed with Ulysses' ability to not die during that team fight. He was literally 1v3ing in the back line. Didn't have Panda Pals at the time. A little bit of damage coming out on the Snow Glider, but Ulysses is going to jump in and do a lot of damage to Feed Steed. Just a lot of damage, a little bit of posturing, nothing actually going down for either team. The Light Bomb comes out to just barely save Rexar, and that'll get him out of there, but that's a huge engagement that they're not going to have for this team fight. They're trying to take past the Dragon Knight, get a couple of resets on Kel'Thuzad ult, and is likely not going to be able to do a lot of damage to Ulysses there. We actually still only have 29 stacks of Masters of the Cold Dark, so a lot weaker than he otherwise could be. Just kind of throwing out the random chains. Does end up getting Ulysses with the root while he's drinking. There goes the flip. The stagger comes up, but he's got no ability to get rid of it. Never mind, Panda Pals coming off cooldown just in time. Kel'Thuzad freaking Zod putting out a ton of damage. Isn't able to take down all of the Panda Pals. We have Hitman comes in, gets the gigantic Mighty Gust, but trades his life away for it.
Is it a trade if it goes for none, though? He ends up getting taken out because he didn't actually hit the fly location properly. Had to barrel roll in, didn't get a long push, there wasn't APOC to follow, and so it was a big, like, 5-man gust, but it ended up not mattering. Now the siege camp's picked up and pushing into the bottom lane here. Sylph trait is out. It's not being targeted on the fort currently. Kel'Thuzad continued to reset those shadow fissures. Did a nice 2-man hit there. Ulysses still not going to die. The Crusher of Dreams comes in with the ancestral healing, and there it goes. First kill on the side of Who Knows Gaming.
Can you believe that this is only a 7-kill game? This has been the bloodbathiest 7-kill game I've ever seen.
Well, what's our damage soaked here? 56k on Chin, 45k on Dibbles. There's so much damage for the fact that this is a 7-kill game. It's been nasty.
I apologize, I don't know the fancy commands to bring up the things without blocking the whole screen, so we're just going to show that for a sec. Little bitty Gust coming in there, but actually not able to... they were clearing the camp out, never mind. They're taking a huge engagement, though. Lots of the Infinite Abyss coming out, hitting over and over. Ulysses gets chunked down really hard, no Panda Pals to get him out of there. The Devouring Maw is actually going to be used almost exclusively for peeling. Diablo almost saving Shen, but Shinkai getting a little bit too accurate. Ulysses not going to be able to make it out of there, and that's a really good fight taking down a level 16 talent here, and it's just going to buy some breathing room more than anything else for Who Knows Gaming.
Yeah, they've had absolutely none of this since about the 30-second mark. Between the macro pressure of the Zagara, the Chen, even in the soul lane with all the camps, they've been on the back foot the entire time. That Sylph kill really opened them up to be able to move on the map, and then they took the bottom camp, or rather took a kill instead of the bottom camp. So just a little bit of time to be able to do what they want. They do have the Temples channeled just for now, Bruiser's taken, and let's see if they can make a little bit of a power play now that they have the Bruisers to match instead of just getting pushed in the whole time.
It's level 15, and Falstad still hasn't picked level 13. There he goes. Finally taking up the bird box build. There goes this one-man blessed shield out onto Falstad, and oh, that's just a really dead Falstad. Not much more to say about that.
Yeah, one-man blessed shield still works because it results. And the most important thing, the kill. So, looks like Ulysses will get the channel here. There's nothing to interrupt the infinite abyss while hungry and consuming does not land on the Dragon Knight. And this is going to be a rough defense. They're down Falstad for another dozen seconds or so, and the Dragon Knight's going to be pushing onto a low health keep. So any picks could just result in the instantaneous end of this game.
There is hope, because there is a little bit left of a Bruiser Camp in the top lane. That's a lot of damage coming out into Wolf. There goes the Light Bomb. You don't get a shield if you don't actually hit anything, so that Light Bomb completely ineffectual, but that is also this kill onto Sylvanas. The DK not a particularly good tank outside of just sponging damage. There goes the stun out onto Zagara, but the kick onto Diablo is probably going to keep him safe. Pulling Zagara along with those chains as Diablo comes back in with a fury trying to get out onto Johanna. Turns out one does not just put CC out onto Johanna, however. Not quite able to do anything with that chain, but that is that's an exceptional defense coming out from Who Knows Gaming. It took very little damage because of how early they got that Sylvanas kill.
Yeah, I don't even think they took any, like, auto attacks from the DK as damage on that keep. I think it was just a little bit of Fire Breath splash. That was a fantastic defense and exactly what they needed. Even though the Light Bomb didn't actually land on, like, make an effect in the fight, they still were able to get the Sylvanas kill, which I think's pretty impressive.
And now there's a relatively long time before anything else is going to be out onto the map. I don't know that Who Knows Gaming's going to be able to soak to 20 in that time. Bit of an engagement coming out here in the bot lane. There goes the Panda Pels. The Gust comes out, but it's a little bit premature. Huge stun coming out from that Light Bomb is probably going to get Eminem Hitman out of there. Wolf trying to do that running routine. Just the Dark Void consuming a lot of hit points from Logical Decision, and now they're turning to run just as Lupus comes in to try and make this engagement with the To My Side. Not quite able to hit anyone with the Kel'Thuzad combo, but they're actually still putting out just a little bit more damage. A gigantic three-person Maw comes out. Ulysses is looking to see if he can do anything, but both teams deciding that this is the time that they want to back out and reset to neutral, as it were.
Yeah, the esports is done. Everybody, no worse for wear in terms of kills. Just a lot of low health and mana bars, so time to go back and play the macro game. Will favor Logical Decision as they tick over to level 19. Yeah, and we've really seen the Shadow Fissure cause a lot of, it's caused a lot of direct damage, but it's causing a lot of positional damage to Logical Decision right now. They're having a tough time really pushing into any zone because it constantly keeps rupturing in the same spot. So they're going to have to be able to adapt to that and get either picks early or whatever. Huge spike to body block. It doesn't end up resulting in any major damage, but I like the attempt at it.
Yeah, so both teams just deciding Logical Decision not to really push that advantage that they had in positioning, and Who Knows Gaming deciding to just cede positioning, and both teams cordially taking one objective and not letting either team get it. Both teams decided to take the Bruiser Camp, just try to get out a little bit more out on the map, and having 3 forts to 0 is really going to put that over in favor of Logical Decision in the long run, especially because they are really, really winning the race to 20.
Yeah, the long run's about to be the short run, as level 20 is imminent. So we'll have to see how Logical Decision decides to posture now that they're up to level 20 for roughly a minute or so, depending on how soak capable Who Knows Gaming's position is. So Misha gonna go ahead and check the bush.
With the level 20s, we got the rewind coming out from Rhaegar, the Fury of the Storm from Zagara, upgraded Panda Pels, and Storm Shield coming out from Chen and Joe, and I don't play Sylvanas, but that is a Q build upgrade coming out from Zoe.
Yeah, that's a massive upgrade because it basically turns your cooldown from, what is it, like 8 seconds by default? I believe it's 8, yes, and it turns it into about a 2.5-second cooldown. Really good. Blessed Shield.
Onto Rexar. Panapels are going to jump out onto him. Diablo is going to pop APOC to get him out of there, but the Life Grip is going to do basically the same thing. Light Bomb goes out on Misha, only hitting Joe, who isn't even stunned because she popped D. And Logical Decision are taking this fight up 20, and Who Knows Gaming is actually letting this fight happen down 20. Diablo is able to get out through the power of Shadow Charge, but that's a Falstad going down. Wolf gets brought down to about half hit points and is able to disengage, but this is an objective for Logical Decision. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, I'm surprised how much Who Knows Gaming tried to turn that fight. So they get the Life Grip, they pull the single target burst out. At that point, that should have been the end of that fight after the APOC was blown. But they went in and tried to follow with the Light Bomb and with the Unleash the Boars, and then they just burned all their ults and didn't get really anything for it. So then they died down 20, and now they're going to lose their keep and possibly the game here. So we'll have to see.
Silk Trait pop just so they can get that extra effective health out onto the DK. The Light Bomb coming out, hitting, I think, just Johanna. I heard a Misha Bear die because I'm not seeing any dead hero portraits. Lupus gets actually chunked down pretty hard by the DK. Joe tries to go in to finish the job, isn't able to do it. They're going out onto Core. I'm a little bit surprised. I don't think this is actually in a position to work, and even if they get it down low enough, they have the Wind Tunnel coming out, the ability for it to come out anyway. Wolf gets brought down really low, does have souls. He'll be back in just a sec. Dr. Ziegler getting brought down very low, is able to keep themselves up with the Divine Star. We have the Falstad flyover, and there is the Wind Tunnel, and that is going to be probably a 5 for 1, or 5 for just Misha, actually.
And the Dibbles.
Yes, Dibbles came back with souls, you are correct.
But he's already got half his souls back because he died first, then saw 5 kills happen, so he therefore gains 50 souls. So, yeah, works out pretty well.
So now that we've got a second, we can actually look at the level 20s coming out from the side of Who Knows Gaming. We have Lord of Terror, Wind Tunnel, Varian's Legacy, Upgraded Boars, and the Damned Return. So, extra team fight damage coming out from Kel'Thuzad. I don't know that I much like the level 20 upgrade to Shadow Fissure, so I think this is a really solid choice, and it gives them just a lot more sustained damage, which is something Kel'Thuzad kind of lacks on average.
Yeah, although it would be so spicy to see the new level 20. Not gonna argue with that whatsoever, but man, look at that Kel'Thuzad siege damage with the double death and decay.
Yeah, and they're doing the right thing. I don't know that Anduin is maybe the one that you want to have split pushing right now to push that lane out, but you do need to have that happening. That is super necessary. They need to give themselves a little bit of breathing room out onto this map so that they can take a fight without worrying. Where are the catapults?
Yep, for sure. Now they do need to be careful since they were splitting without Anduin. They don't want the don't want to be surprise engaged. They don't have the Life Grip to pull them out. So just want them to take it nice and slow, and they appear to. So good play there from Who Knows Gaming, and we'll just have to see the positioning war and the possible ring around the rosy that gets played for this possibly final DK.
I like this camp pickup quite a lot, partially because I had everyone here to take it really quickly, but also because they don't have any buildings in the top lane. This camp is just going to buy them a lot more time, which the longer this game goes on, the better I think it has to be for Logical Decision, just because they have the extra buildings, which is a huge advantage, especially at this late in the game. You don't want to be clearing waves anymore. You want to be pushing in and killing things. But
yeah, it gives you that map pressure, the just existence of even attention at the minimum. You have to pay attention to fewer things so you can focus on your the team's positioning more. It's just an incredible advantage going into the late game.
I think Kel'Thuzad might have just showed in the mid lane, so Who Knows Gaming kind of just needs to back out till he gets here. Taking a fight down 4v5 is absolutely how they lose this game. But they do need to also make sure that the objective doesn't get capped, and because they have everyone here, this is the only place that they can make that happen. They could fly Falstad bottom, but he can't get all the way there without having to run there part of the way first. And with this camp up, they're actually having to cede position. Misha is fighting on the point against Wono, but there goes the To My Side coming out. Is going to root a couple of members, but again, no follow-up coming out from those boars, so that's just a 60-second cooldown that's buying a little bit of positioning, but that's all that's really happening.
Yeah, I think the call was to try and get Wono on the point there, with that to my side, but Wono wisely mounted up and then bolted out of town, and it was end up right in the middle of his team when he got rooted, so that was an important bailout there from Wono. Nice play there to basically save himself and prevent him from losing the fight for his team.
So Kel'Thuzad rotates mid for just a sec. There was a catapult on that building. It's the only one that they have left that's not the core. Misha does barely just get life gripped out of there, but now you have to send people into the bottom lane because catapults will just win the game for logical decision. Wolf has to make this defense in the mid, but doesn't. Kel'Thuzad doesn't quite get the interrupt in time. Eminem throws himself at the enemy team, but is able to get himself out of there with the wind tunnel. Sylvanas gets chunked down pretty hard by Rexar, but is able to land that Devouring Maw, and I don't know if Who Knows Gaming is going to be able to make another miraculous defense here. They do have the 5 people alive to try for it, but they need to get a pick fast, I think.
Well, they've done a lot of damage to the Dragon Knight so far. That being said, Eminem Hitman barrel rolls over the wall into most of Logical Decision, so that'll probably end the game. But they were doing a lot of damage to the DK ahead of time, as Logical Decision wasn't fully with it, but it does not matter anymore. This game should cease here, as the Dragon Knight should just aggress onto the core, chop into little bits, and send Logical Decision forward through to the next round.
GG, well played coming out from both teams, and that is the 2-0 domination victory coming out from Logical Decision. GG and well played. Once again, just checking the stats. A lot of healing actually coming out from Anduin. He is a relatively high throughput healer, especially compared to Rehgar, who's able to put on a little bit more pressure and aggression. But this time we do have the really big disparity in damage numbers coming out. Sylvanas and Zagara both dealing about 20 or 30k more than Kel'Thuzad, who never quite got the combos to come out, I think, to the degree that they wanted to.
Yeah, I tend to agree. There were a couple that that helped their positioning and did some poke damage, but I don't think outside of maybe 1 or 2 instances, especially after 20, where Kel'Thuzad got the kill that was needed for Who Knows Gaming. So, unfortunate for Shinkaigen there, but yeah, you trying to set something up, get Ulysses or
Wono just agreed. We're gonna hop on over into the NGS lobby. The screen's gonna freeze because that's how game capture works, and we're gonna see what he's got to say.
Okay.
Hey there! Congratulations.
Oh god, we're all no, stop, get out.
Get out. Oh my gosh, Ziltoid.
Ektar ban, please.
Everyone, get in here. Everybody, group hug. But we have to do damage before anybody else can get in here.
Yeah, you gotta whirlwind and in a rage a couple of times before you can get the really big get in there value. That's a Hearthstone reference for you viewers. Congratulations.
Grim patron value, baby.
Whoosh.
Alright, first question to you, Wono, as the actual captain of your team.
Yes, Big C captain.
How you feeling right now?
We are feeling great, honestly. Things leading up to playoffs, I'm not gonna lie, have been a little shaky for us. I was gone for 2 weeks. We had a bunch of ups and downs, games we should have won, we threw hard, so going into playoffs, we were kind of a little bit shaken on team confidence and where we were going to be, but we know that no matter what happens, we just wanted to go out and play hard and have fun together, and that showed on the scoreboard today when we had a really, really solid match.
Yeah, it seemed like, just looking at the teams and their matches, that Logical Decision started really strong, tapered off a little bit towards the end of the season, whereas Who Knows Gaming started a little bit weak and we're starting to creep up there near the end of the season, so glad to see you guys were able to pull that out and get that victory.
I they were a team that I didn't know a whole heck of a lot of at the start of the season, and kind of, I don't want to say wrote them off, but you know how it is with a new team who comes into division and kind of loses and stumbles through their first couple matches. You don't think a ton of them, but then they started picking up some good wins off some really strong teams in the division, so we kind of started paying more attention to them after that. So it's kind of sad that we had to end their season after they were just really starting to get going, but hey, only one can move on.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very sad.
There can be only one. So game number 1 was on Sky Temple. Is that a map that you guys have a lot of experience playing on?
No.
No.
Not in competitive league, but
No,
we do play it plenty of times in Storm
Good
League when
old
we're five
Storm.
manning, and when we do and sometimes in scrims too as well. So it is something that we are aware of, that we do play on, that we do normally feel pretty confident on. That's why we don't ban it out.
Yeah, we have a solid plan for the map, but it is by far our least practiced in matches and scrims.
Nope,
Yep.
Brexis.
Yeah, Braxis.
Oh, I guess.
That's still a map.
So, Who Knows Gaming appears to really like that map. They've played it 6 times in NGS and now 7, and this is only their second loss on this map. So,
Yeah.
what was your strategy going into this map against a team that's been so dominant throughout the regular season on it?
So
Macro,
yeah, you want to
macro. Just
We knew it was a strong map for them, but typically we excel at macro maps as well. And looking at kind of what they like to draft, things like the Kel'Thuzad, and they actually don't draft a ton of macro-heavy heroes. So we felt that we could beat them at their own game just by taking the macro really heavily to them and not letting them take any of the fights or anything that they really wanted to do on the map.
yeah, and then I accidentally banned Kel'Thuzad. Oops.
And it helps that Ulysses, he just kind of auto wins this game. So
That
Ulysses
is a
OP.
pretty accurate description of the way that we summed up the map. You guys just kind of got to waves a little bit faster. You kind of killed the waves a little bit faster. You took camps a little bit earlier more often, and that compounding pressure seemed to really put you guys into a really strong, advantageous position going into the late game. And then you found a free Tyrael into Jim Raynor, and I'm sure you weren't complaining about that either.
Oh yeah,
Free's a great price.
it's my favorite.
So tell us about your spicy game number 2 strategy, because I think game number 1 was pretty by the
What
numbers
is
actually
spicy about
from both
Everyone
teams.
says it's spicy, but we
That's
played
our normal
literally
draft.
like the exact same comp on that map every single time, and it's like our favorite map to pick too. So it's not even like we don't play it very often. If you go back and watch, I'm pretty sure we draft almost that exact same comp on Dragonshire every time.
Just because you
I
guys
rarely
always do
get
it doesn't
Sylph.
mean it's not weird.
It's
Yeah,
not
we
weird.
pretty much got all the heroes we wanted.
yeah.
No Anduin though. We would have liked Anduin.
I almost never get Sylv in the last half of this the season, and so and we saw in game number 1 they went ahead and banned it, and so I'm like, here we are again, going down the Sylv ban route, and then they left it open. They went for the Jaina, and so we're just kind of like, yeah, all right, I gotta whip it out.
So as someone who's
You're
only
welcome.
seen that kind of strategy played now for the second time being this game, first time in our scrim actually last week, you did basically the same comp. What is the overall strategy? Just to push bottom lane really hard with Zagara pressure? Is that what you're aiming
No.
for?
Well,
No,
early
no.
game we start out just holding. We just Zag is really good at holding lanes, so we have a strong off laner on Ulysses holding top, and then we have Zag holding bot, and they have to respond to both of those, so we get pressure elsewhere on the map.
Yeah, it basically just frees up our 3-man to make rotations, take camps. They have to keep at least 1, preferably 2 down to match Zagara, or else she just eats your towers away.
Which puts
So-
them in a bad spot when you have Sylvanas pushing the top lane with a Merc Queen and Bruiser Camp.
Yeah, we maybe pushed a little too long there. We're about to go straight through their core.
And so they did pick up the newly, slightly reworked Kel'Thuzad freaking Zod. You respect banned him in the first game, but not the second game. Were you just more confident that you'd be able to deal with that in game number 2, or was there just a higher priority on banning other heroes?
If I had
Yeah.
it my way, we would have not banned him the first game and banned him the second game, but that's just how things worked out. It was a little bit of miscommunication in draft because Kel'Thuzad is typically a hero that kind of struggles with the macro. His wave clear is okay, but he burns his combo pieces to do it, so he's not much of a threat when he does so. But Dragonshire, you can force more of those fights, and you see he did get a couple good pickoffs that kept them in the game when we could have probably ended it earlier.
Yep.
So he's a good player on the Kel'Thuzad. His Kel'Thuzad's solid, so it was less that we didn't respect it, and more just we were okay leaving it up, and there were probably better things for us to ban out.
We figured we still had the macro advantage, and that would put us ahead. We didn't draft that composition to win team fights that were fair 5v5s. We drafted that composition to control the map, and again, we didn't lose a fort until we wiped on core post 20. So kind of shows when it's executed. That's kind of what when it's executed properly. That's kind of what it's supposed to look like.
All right, I think that's all I've really got for questions. Ace, do you have anything for logical decision minus E-Day 15?
No, you basically covered it. You got all the info that we want, and we're looking forward to seeing it go forward. And everybody ban Dragonshire. GG. It's over now.
All right, so before we get on out of here, Wono, as the captain, do you have any shout-outs, things that you want to say to your fans, to all of our viewers, and the wonderful community of NGS?
Yeah, thank you both for picking up the game kind of last minute. I know I was watching the NGS website and the calendar all day, like, is someone going to do it? Is someone going to do it? Do it. So, really happy that you guys picked it up. Thank you for the cast. Good job, team. Shout out to all you guys for carrying me when I'm rusty as heck. Shout out to my biggest cheerleaders, Unemployed Gaming. I see you in chat there, you guys. Thanks. Love you all. That's me. Anyone else?
Yeah, no, thanks for the cast, guys, especially after my playoff cast fiasco yesterday. Hopefully we don't get another repeat of that, but and shout out to Unos Gaming. Thanks for the match, guys. We were nervous coming into this. It was not we're gonna dominate this. It was we weren't entirely certain how this was gonna go. So,
and it was a lot of a closer match than the 2-0 kind of says it was. So
yeah, for sure.
Good job on really improving over the season, you guys.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you for coming in.
Before they actually didn't have Shinkaigen. They had a sub in, so we didn't know what to expect from him exactly. He played pretty well.
All right, well, thank you guys for coming on in for the interview. Ziltoid, I look forward to that replay cast coming out hopefully soon.
Tomorrow.
Excellent. And yeah, congratulations. Good luck on the rest of your series.
Thanks,
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Alrighty. I think that's just about it. Ace, where can people find you when you're not co-casting here on this channel?
Nowhere. I only co-cast here. You can find me at twitch.tv/7thace. I do some casting sometimes and occasionally play other games, so yeah, don't worry about it. Otherwise, I'm always around on the NGS Discord more than I probably should be, and that's really it.
Also has the 4th fastest Jet Set Radio Future time. Humble brag.
5th.
5th now? It already got beaten out again?
Yeah. Dude, I made everybody play. It's great. Yeah, he came back with a vengeance. I got beat by a minute and a half. Feels bad.
Oh, man. Well, as for me, I don't really social media too much, so if you need to get a hold of me for whatever reason, you can find me on the Nexus Gaming Series Discord. I stream here very occasionally, and I cast here even more occasionally than that, so thanks for everyone for stopping by. Looking forward to doing some more NGS casting in the future, particularly with my friend 7th Ace, because, as he mentioned, it gives me time to drink water.
Water.
Yeah, I need to get
Such
a stay hydrated
hydration.
bot. I should.
I know, that's the best bot. It really is, and that's the only bot I would have, other than the one I wrote, but that's okay.
Yeah. Alright, but for real this time, thanks everyone for stopping by. We're going to end the stream now, and we'll see y'all in the Nexus.
Adios.